All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So Tesla Inc. has had a very bearish run previously. It had a recovery, leveled off, bearish run again after Battery Day, and from that point forward, the bulls have had a run and the bears are starting to reappear here. So something I want to point out that's very important to all investors, whether you're a first-time viewer or you're a frequent viewer or you're my subscriber, all of you guys, welcome to seeing this. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come on in and watch these videos that I post and recognizing my efforts. But let's jump into this chart. 538 is super important. That is the highest point that this stock has reached, and 538 pre-split and post-split is the highest valuation Tesla has ever had. From that point forward, if that gets crossed and turned into a support, the bulls can start to work their way up to newer highs and newer resistance levels. Now, from that point forward, there was a very bearish run and it got rejected fairly fast, hitting lows of about 308. At 308, this stock actually hit a support, and from that point forward started to rise again, and it's been jumping around volatility in an upward direction and downward direction. And the next lowest point after that recovery that we see here was around 351, 352 range, and it started to recover again. Now we're seeing, like I stated earlier, the bears starting to take this one down and trying to bring it down to newer lows. So for the bears, they need to cross to 308, and this could be on its way down to newer lows. So that's something to keep in mind for the next week or coming months. With the volatility this stock has, I mean, you are going to be surprised sometimes how quickly it moves up and down and so forth. But 308, lowest point, 538, highest point that this stock reached. Those are some good numbers to keep in mind to have a sense of direction as it gets closer to whichever number where this is going. So let's zoom in here and see what's important for Monday. So obviously we're seeing here that Tesla was dominated by the bears. Either people taking profits, there was uncertainty or fear that has kicked in to investors, making this one fall from way up here and start to hit newer lows, reaching 410.20. So the support level here, we need to move it to its new location. It moved drastically down, and obviously it crossed the 50-day moving average throughout the day and started to hit newer lows fairly quickly. So now the 50-day moving average is above the stock price and our stock price is below it. So the 50-day moving average is important right now because that lets us know on what side of the chart we're in. So 432.39 is an important number because as long as we're below it, the bears are in control. The moment we're above it, the bulls are in control. So it's very important to keep in mind that 432.39 is the 50-day moving average, keeping us the sense of where we're at in the chart. So right now, we are in bearish territory. And that's something that the bulls want to break through, but we're going to get into that in just a second. Now, the support level. Our support level is 408.19. Super important number, 408.19. If that gets crossed after closing at 410.20, the bears are starting to bring this down to newer lows. And I want to emphasize how important it is to pay close attention to 408.19 and how quickly is this stock moving to newer lows. 408.19 is one of those points of reference that every single investor wants to pay close attention to the behavior of this stock, because of the fact that it can break through it and actually start to reach newer support levels and newer lows, pulling further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction and confirming, if we haven't already noticed it, the bears have confirmed gaining control. So 408.19 is just even more reaffirmation and confirmation of the fact that the bears are plummeting this one and taking over this chart. So 408.19 is a super important level of support to pay very close attention to the behavior and how quickly is this moving to newer lows, or are the bulls even trying to reappear to bring this one back up? Now, on the other spectrum of the chart, we have what the bulls want. And the bulls want to break through the first support level, which is the highest point before this bearish run. And that is 438.53. 438.53 needs to be crossed, turn into a support, and from that point forward, it can start to work up to newer highs and newer resistance levels. If they accomplish this, the bulls accomplish this, they've accomplished two things. They broke through the first resistance level in bearish territory, and they broke through the 50-day moving average, getting back into bearish territory, which, again, the 50-day moving average is 432.39. Once that gets crossed, the bulls are back into bullish territory, and their goal is to break the first resistance level, which is 438.53, turn that into a support to start to work their way up to newer highs and newer resistance levels. The bulls need to break through that resistance level to gain confirmation of gaining control of this chart again and getting back into bullish territory. But before getting there, they definitely want to break through the 50-day moving average to go ahead and work their way up to newer highs and newer levels of resistance. So super important to keep that in mind. The 50-day moving average needs to be crossed, but to gain control and gain back onto the bullish territory of the chart, they need to break through 438.53, turn it into support, and start to work their way up to newer resistance levels and newer highs. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Share this with your friends and community. And if you feel encouraged or inclined to subscribe, please do so. But don't forget to click on the bell by turning on all notifications to not miss a single video that I post. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. I highly recommend you click on it, check it out if you haven't already, because a lot of people are overlooking this topic, and it's the topic that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. And for as long as the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets, there's an opportunity to make profit. I base it off of the S&P 500 index because the index of the S&P 500 is rising up several points on these scheduled dates from the Federal Reserve pumps. Well, what does that mean for us as investors? Well, within the index, there's 500 ticker symbols. These ticker symbols are moving up with the S&P 500 index as it moves up several points. These ticker symbols are moving up 30 cents all the way upwards to $3 and maybe even more per share. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but per share that does add up. And as I always say, profits are profits. So I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just here to inform you guys and enlighten everyone on the great news that there's an opportunity to maximize profits, minimize losses, and take advantage that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets and these ticker symbols are rising up anywhere from 30 cents to $3 and maybe even more. So check it out. Don't miss out on the information. I do a weekly series on it, so if you find that video helpful and informative, stay tuned because the next one's coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.